All right, FightHype.com. Sean Zattel here with Joey Spencer, former Prospect of the Year, now 12-0, 9 knockouts, getting ready to fight on Fox once again, July 31st. Undercard of Michael Coffey versus Gerald Washington. Good heavyweight scrap. Joey, man, just got to start. You coming off of an impressive first-round knockout over Isaiah Selden. Why was he so mad at you all night?
You know, man, I don't know. I honestly, he had a screw loose. He really did. You know, it's he was some. You know, he was something. He was coming in pretty angry. But you know, I was coming in pretty intense too, so I might have played a part in that. We had a little bit of we kind of had to be separated a little bit in the back before the fight, so people didn't really see that. They didn't really see that part. So when they saw the ref be like, "Hey, I don't want any dirty stuff going on in the ring," we were confused about it. But I think that had a lot to do with the fact that he knew that something had just happened in the back. So he was trying to head that off, and he ended up being exactly right. You know, it was dirty what he did, but you know, I knew that I just had to stay composed because I had just dropped him, and I knew he was done, and I knew I just needed a couple more shots and he'd be finished off. So I didn't want to retaliate and have anything, get him any more rest or anything. So.
But you looked really good in that fight, and it looked like rather than fighting off the back foot, you were looking to get in there from the very start of round one. What do you think about, like we always talk about, the progression in your style, and where do you think you're headed into July 31st? What's some of the things we can expect?
Well, I'm just hoping that I can, because I know, and my team knows, and the people that train with me know that I have not shown even half of what I'm capable of in the ring as a pro yet. No, that it's not even half. So people think, watching what I've my 12 fights so far, it's so much different once you get in the ring as a pro. And I've been learning and growing, but I haven't been able to show my entire potential yet. And I'm getting there. I'm really getting there. And I'm 21 now, and I'm seeing leaps and bounds difference than I was even in my last fight. Every fight I'm progressing so much, and I'm just hoping that one of these, and I know this will happen, that one of these nights that I'll be able to show what I'm capable of, and that'll really depend on my opponent, somebody to bring the best out of me as I'm starting to grow and mature as a fighter. So I know the best hasn't come yet, and I'm working extremely hard. Like I said, or like probably I broke my hand, and that's why I've been off since that last fight. But I have gotten so much better in the time off with my broken hand. I've been off for like 12 weeks or something like that since then. I've not taken one break. I mean, I've been going at it in the gym. So I've gotten much better. So I'm looking forward to showing that.
You mentioned, your potential. What do you think ultimately your potential is, Joey?
Be the best. I think I have the potential to be the best. I was watching the fights at 154 over the weekend.
Lubin and Rosario.
Yeah, I was watching Lubin Rosario. There was a couple other. There was another 154-pound fight on the Barrios Davis card. I don't know who exactly that guy was, but he looked good. He got a big knockout. I know that I can be the very best at this division, and I'm coming close to the point where I'm going to start calling everybody's name one by one and wanting them all. So I really believe that I can be the top dog here. So I'm looking forward to it.
Just back to kind of what happened there with Selden. I remember like Ryan Garcia, he had kind of incidents like that happen on his rise to where he's at right now. Do you think, being a fresh-faced kid and then with the hype behind you too, getting the Prospect of the Year stuff, that the part of that is that you have a target on your back kind of thing?
Yeah, well, I think that everybody, the guys that are getting the call to fight me, when they fight me, they get opportunity to fight on Fox in a primetime spot. And I know that they'll always bring their best for that. That's going to be their big moment, just like it's my big moment every time that I'm in the ring. So I know that that's how people think. So definitely I think that has a lot to do with it. I think that I do have a target on my back, and I like having a target on my back. That's what keeps me in the gym, working my butt off and trying to get better every day, because I know people are coming for me, and I need to make sure that I'm ready.
And back to 54, like you were just talking about, Charlo Castano, what do you think of that fight, Joey?
Castano's a tough dude. It might be a tough style for Charlo, just because it's different than a lot of the fighters that Charlo's fought, just because he's such a rugged, short, come forward fighter. I don't know if I've seen Charlo fight exactly that style yet, and he's good at it. He's good at it, and one sec, brother.
No worries.
He's good at it, and so hopefully it turns out to be a good fight. But at the same time, Charlo's got that power. So Castano coming forward the way he does, I can't imagine that he doesn't run into a shot that hurts him and buckles him and puts him down. So I think that that'll be what ends up happening. But it might be a little bit Charlo might have to make a couple adjustments and just feel him out and be in there with him for a few rounds before he ends up landing that shot, just because it might be a little bit awkward. I mean, from what I've seen of him from Castano, he looks a little bit awkward. So we'll see how he deals with it. But I think that he'll probably end up running him into something and catching him and getting that last belt.
Yeah. Do you feel like, just watching Jermell, that you're better off boxing him than being aggressive? Or is he just becoming a guy that you really got to have the all-around game to have a chance at knocking him off at this point?
There's definitely a way to beat him. And he hasn't fought the guy to beat him yet. And it just hasn't happened. He hasn't, fought the guy that has the style to beat him. I know the style that I believe beats him. And
is that your style, the style you're developing?
Well, people, like I said, people haven't seen what I can do yet. People have not seen what I can do yet. I've got a lot of things that I've been fighting my entire life. I've been fighting my entire life. Like I said, I feel like maybe 40% has been, maybe less. I feel like even less than that. Maybe like 25% of my game has been shown in the ring. I've only went to distance a couple times. And the only time I went to distance was when my body was so screwed up and messed up on the night of the fight, and that there was a lot of other factors coming into the ring other than just me, and we've gotten a lot of that stuff figured out since then. And so I have not been able to have the rounds to show what I can do, but I know what I can do. But personally, I'm not really, like I said, I'm interested to see, because I saw an interview yesterday of Charlo saying that he was going to move up. And obviously I'm going to be fighting my first 10-rounder this year. It's not like I'm, contending for his belts yet. But I think once he gets his belts, I think he's going to move up to 160, which is what I would do. He's won every belt in the division. Now he's going to try to move up and go to 160. I think it's going to be more. I don't think if I had to guess that he'll be the one that I'm fighting for the belts. I don't think that's who I'll be fighting.
Do you think?
But if he is, I'm very ready.
Do you feel that? I know you got some people. I know how it is, brother. I know how it is. But do you feel that if he becomes the first guy to get all 4 belts, that makes him a legend in this division?
I think legend. I think
it's something I don't think people are considering enough. Heading into his fight, but not saying they have to consider him one. But I mean, it's like, what do we say about Jermell at 154 historically? If
he's definitely done some incredible things. He's undisputed at 154. That is a big feat, But I don't think that he's had his legacy fight yet. That's what I'll say. So yeah, he's done something incredible, but I think it's a similar thing to Crawford. What weight did he become undisputed at? 140. That's a legendary thing to do, period. Whatever weight class you become undisputed at, that's a legacy thing to do. I just don't think he's had his legacy fight yet. I think he'll have it, and I think maybe he'll have to move up to 160 to get it. I really do. Just because of the way that things have went. Like, I think if and it's not his fault. If J-Rock would have won against Rosario, then that would have been, I think, that fight for him, But Rosario wins, he's upset. That's kind of like when Holyfield wanted the Tyson fight, but Holyfield ends up having to get Buster Douglas, Right. That wasn't necessarily it got chalked up to, he just had a good night. Buster Douglas just had a good night, but he's not really the one. Holyfield got more out of fighting an old Tyson or a more washed up Tyson than he did from beating Buster when Buster had beaten Tyson when he was a prime Tyson, as people say, So I think that has more to do with it. It's just circumstances, the way things have played out. Now, he fought Lubin when he was younger. That doesn't mean he wouldn't beat him still. He just fought him when he was younger. That's what people will say. Lubin was young. Now he's back. That type of thing. And some people might give him his credit because he should get his credit because he's won every belt in the division. He just hasn't had a chance to fight the biggest names in the division just because they're losing before they come to fight him. Or like I said, Charlo beat Lubin so convincingly that there's not even really that much of an argument for a rematch at this point, you know?
Right.
So I think he might have to move up to 160 to get his legacy fight.
Very honest assessment there. I get exactly what you mean. Like Winky Wright had his, Shane Mosley signature.
Exactly. Exactly.
Trinidad with Vargas and yeah. So
sure. Again, whereas like Charlo's just being dominant against everybody he fights and almost too dominant to the point where people need to see him come in and beat somebody he wasn't supposed to almost,